Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Welcome back for this video is going to be a news and then like news I missed kind of medley mesh thing. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Bitcoin's price recorded a significant breakout above 2019 highs, strengthening the bullish outlook for the premier cryptocurrency. The rise and fall of the 2017 bull run happened in the blink of an eye. It was like 2.5 weeks. It was really kind of fast. In June 2019, Bitcoin attempted to take out the new an all-time high, but fell short below $14,000. Since then, levels around $14,000 US have been the benchmark for the bulls. Today's breakout marked an important milestone, clearing the path towards new all-time highs. And there's a little pretty chart down there. The price surge also coincides with the 12th anniversary of Bitcoin's white paper released on Halloween 2008, which we spoke about yesterday as well. The Bitcoin futures market for perpetual swap contracts is neutrally positioned between the bulls and the bears. Long story short, last night at some point, Bitcoin went above $14,000. That was kind of the beginning topic of yesterday's video. We were at $13,999.14. It was something absolutely ridiculous, and I was like, there's no reason why we shouldn't pass by $14,000. We did. But then, of course, as always, we slipped back below to levels of resistance, if you will. Bitcoin underwent a strong rally over the past day, continuing higher past 13,500. At the highs of the past 24 hours, Bitcoin traded as high as 14,100 US dollars. The rally abruptly stopped, though, as sell orders were deployed around $14,000. This resulted in a rapid wick from 14,000 to around 13,500. Yeah, we're above that right now. We dipped only around like 1% ish, give or take. Bitcoin currently is around 13,800. Establishing another floor as it looks to move even higher in the days ahead. Analysts are currently eyeing 14,000 and 14,100 as the key levels to watch. The latter, of course, is where Bitcoin topped on Saturday. A prominent cryptocurrency analyst says that if Bitcoin can flip $14,100 into support, it will result in an inverse capitulation. In other words, Bitcoin could surge massively higher, likely by dozens of percent. That's a huge, okay, if it manages to turn that level into support. The number that we've been hearing for, it's been about 6 months now, is $14,000. We tried to get that in the summer. I think we hit 11,000 or 12,500. Fell back down, stayed above 10,000, I think, maybe. And here we are. So we've reached that number. We've fallen down a bit, as is to be expected, because this happens every single time. Every single time that Bitcoin passes by some crazy number, people start panic selling. But luckily, we haven't completely collapsed. So that's quite nice to see. I guess the other point is, now we wait to see when we go back above 14,000 and exactly how much stronger and higher and faster it's going to go. That's basically, I think, all the price news, if I'm not mistaken. What's this one? Oh yeah, I guess this can also, no, not really, something completely different. Anyway, the point is, the price has gone up. Whoop-dee. And I guess we'll just move on because, you know, that's all the price stuff that we have for today. One of the biggest Bitcoin stories of the year was the news that MicroStrategy, a business services company, had put $425 million into Bitcoin. It drove me insane that no one else was really talking about this news. The move garnered much attention within the cryptocurrency space, not really, with many seeing this as validations of Bitcoin's store of value properties. But outside of crypto, few knew about this purchase. The move was widely covered by industry media within the cryptocurrency space, but coverage about this move by mainstream media was somewhat scarce, at least until recently. On Friday, the Wall Street Journal published an article covering MicroStrategy's $500 million Bitcoin bet about the space as a whole, as noted by Su Tzu, CIO of 3 Arrows Capital. The story about the investment hit the front page of the Wall Street Journal's online edition. Here's the actual article right here. It says, cash is trash, so let's bet $425 million on Bitcoin. This is, of course, major news, but I don't think it still has really hit the market just how much money that actually is and how many companies around the world now have 0.5% or 1% of all the Bitcoin in the world floating around out there. I just thought it was kind of, fascinating that someone finally wrote an article. Like, think about the things that we talk about on a daily basis and the amount of things that we go over and the amount of adoption. Remember all the stuff? What was it? Iran is now also collecting Bitcoin. That news is nowhere to be seen. I think that would have a profound effect on our markets if mainstream media outlets did so. And it's not that the Wall Street Journal isn't mainstream, but I mean more like, like CNBC, ABC, like Fox. And I don't mean like Fox. I mean like Fox where the Simpsons are, like that kind of, like the channels that everyone kind of has. So like you have to run into it, because I think a lot of times even something like this on the Wall Street Journal, normal non-investors are not looking at the Wall Street Journal. It's meant for a certain audience, what have you. Anyway, sure, why not? People will eventually understand the gravity of this news eventually at some point in the future. But the Wall Street Journal finally spoke about it, and I assume this just mainly has to do with the thing that I always tell you about, that rich people signal to other people, hey, it's time to get into this thing because we can make a lot of money. Anyway, let's move on. In a super obvious kind of news story, USA banks are looking into going crypto. An acting comptroller has confirmed. The acting comptroller of currency, Brian Brooks, said that banks in the United States are looking into ways to move forward with cryptocurrency. In a recent interview on the Unchained podcast with Laura Shin, Mr. Brooks has explained that different United States of America banks are looking into the different possible ways or paths that they could take to adopt digital coins. It says the digital coin. I don't know what that even is referring to. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, or the OCC's decision to allow banks to use cryptocurrency has encouraged banks to explore crypto. Logically, the OCC moved to allow room for banks to go digital in July, but they needed to ensure that there was no confusion about how to treat customers. The OCC in a letter clarified that banks must ensure the safety of customer assets. For those of you who missed that news in summertime, the Comptroller of the Currency of the United States allowed all banks within the United States to carry, hold, custody cryptocurrency. This is also another news story that completely shattered my world, and I think the price even went down that day, which made absolutely no sense. So yes, I guess this is now confirmation on the podcast. I used to listen to this podcast. It's not that it's not interesting. It's just it's for a certain audience, and I'm not part of that audience. Anyway, yeah, confirmation once again. Okay. Banks within the United States are able to hold cryptocurrency, and yeah, I mean, I guess that's part of the news. This is why I said it. It's going to be normal news and also kind of like a news I missed bit of thing. Anyway, I'm expecting big things to happen from this. You don't assume that the OCC simply was like, oh, you know what, cryptocurrency sounds kind of nice. I assume people behind the scenes behind them, I guess, is more of a tinfoil hat. It's not tinfoil hat though. It's where the money goes. So I assume people were discussing with him that he should allow banks within the United States to allow them all to hold crypto because they plan on holding crypto anyway. All right, let's move on. Also, in like this whole week, I had news like this and I kept on ignoring it, but it kept on popping up. So I guess I'll tell you all about it right now. Bitcoin's price today hit prices unseen since January 2018. It says, hooray for Bitcoin investors worldwide. It says, but now the bad news, Bitcoin transaction fees have also increased to the highest price since January 2018. According to data from BitInfo Charts, the average cost of a Bitcoin transaction is now $13. Back on the 17th of October, the average cost of a Bitcoin transaction was around $1.50. We know that Bitcoin's slow. We know that Bitcoin has high fees. Even there are other blockchains that have zero fees. There are no fees at all. I think some of them have like 1/100th of 1 cent of a fee. It's absolutely nothing. The news has been during this entire week that Ethereum's transaction fees have dropped because no one's doing as much as they were before with DeFi, and therefore those prices have dropped. But at the same exact time, Bitcoin's transaction fees have also skyrocketed. Understand this, and I'm telling you this right now so that none of you are confused and or surprised over the next couple of months if we continue rising up in price. We are going to see a $20 transaction fee. We are going to see a $28 transaction fee. We are going to see a $33 transaction fee. And I think that's the highest that we've ever been for Bitcoin transaction fees. I think the highest I ever paid was $28 in 2017. So just be aware of these things. And at some point, we are probably going to see a $100 Bitcoin transaction fee. That's probably when Bitcoin's price is roughly over 100,000 US dollars. I told you all before, and this is more of it's not an urban legend, but it's kind of like a thing within the cryptocurrency space. A lot of people believe that Bitcoin will either be a reserve currency or a reserve currency that people can also use, if that makes any sense. So it won't be like, so you either have it as gold, where people are stocking it away and no one's touching it, or it's as gold and people are taking pieces of that gold to go buy things. The idea being, and this is a bit, I guess, crypto pretentious, if you will, is that people who have Bitcoin won't mind the high transaction fees because it will allow them to have private transactions amongst themselves. And also, you wouldn't or shouldn't really mind a $180 transaction fee if you're buying something for $100,000. I forgot where I read that from before, but it was a very, very interesting take. It was pretty much people who had decided that Bitcoin was going to be it, or thought in the future that Bitcoin would be it. And they basically mentioned how they did not mind the high transaction fees because they'd pretty much be super wealthy. So why care about a penny when you're spending $1 kind of thing. So yes, transaction fees are high. They're going to continue to be higher. And yeah, I mean, what more can really be said, because we know that this is a thing and it's going to continue to be a thing. Let's move on. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says XRP is on the verge of something big as number of whales reach astronomical numbers. Apparently, there's a lot of people who have been buying up massive amounts of XRP over the last couple of months. I guess apparently you are now an XRP whale if you hold over 100,000 XRP. Those holding 100,000 to 1 million XRP increased from 19.7%. From 14,525 to 17,387 whales. This is the category of whales that recorded the highest increase. Those holding 10 million or more XRP increased from 10% from 280 to 309 addresses, while those holding 1 million to 10 million coins, those are whales to me. Those are people who are like disgustingly wealthy in the space. Recorded an increase from 1,300 wallets to 1,336. I don't expect thousands of people to have that many XRP. So we're seeing across the board, it's not just for XRP, but I guess XRP is in the article because it's also significant for XRP. A lot of people are just holding onto their crypto. There are a lot of people who are taking off their cryptocurrencies from exchanges and holding them themselves, and also accumulating, as one might have expected would occur during this time period, because a lot of people are expecting the market to continue going up. And it's just more a matter of, where do you really place your bets? A lot of people are thinking that, I believe myself, that XRP is probably going to pass by $3.60 again. It's where it was before. I assume it's going to go past that. You also have the people talking about XRP is going to hit $10. And at the same exact time, you have the people talking about that the price of an ether is going to hit $4,000 or $8,000. These are not the future prices. It's just me kind of throwing out the numbers that I've heard around before. So yes, of course the whales are going to be accumulating because everybody wants to make more money. Why would you have 100 XRP if you could have 10,000? If it does reach $10, well, buddy, you made 100K. Anyway, that's the whale news. There was this whole week was sprinkled with news like this about like Ether whales and this coin whales, and I haven't heard any articles about any Litecoin whales, but I guess it's because Litecoin isn't really that hyped up at the moment. Anyway, that's all that news. Let's move on. In unsurprising news, the team at TRON and the Just Foundation, yep, he made a foundation named after himself, has just launched Justlink. Can you guess what Justlink is? An oracle to power smart contracts on the TRON blockchain, Justlink is the first blockchain oracle on the TRON blockchain that feeds smart contracts with real-time data in a manner similar to how Chainlink provides its data to the Ethereum network. Justlink will be an essential cog to the TRON DeFi ecosystem, etc., etc. Here's the tweet where they announced it. The founder of TRON, Justin Sun, further described Justlink as follows, and I do quote, Justlink is the Chainlink equivalent of TRON, whose birth marked a pivotal milestone for TRON's ecosystem. Justlink will drive a new round of, I don't really care. I mean, completely honestly, for those of you wondering, it wasn't even, was it summer? It was about a couple of weeks ago. Justin Sun announced that the people from TRON would be creating a new thing so that TRON can also be part of the DeFi space. The coin's price went down because nobody cares. And then they announced that they would have a whole bunch of other things that would allow other people to get into their blockchain cryptocurrency space thingy because no one was using them anymore. And now they've announced Justlink, which is just a copy of Chainlink, because TRON is just copying every... Remember, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago? TRON just copies everything that everyone else is doing. If they see something is popular, they do the exact same thing. They did the same exact thing with their white paper. They copy and pasted a whole bunch of other people's white papers, put it into there, and they were like, oh yeah, this is fine. This is exactly what it is. So now TRON has something called Justlink, which is a copy of Chainlink, because I think TRON would be a lot more popular if they made their own things, but they don't, and they never will, and that's exactly how the project is going to crumble into itself. Also, best part about it as well is that they created a brand new coin called JST for Justlink, as opposed to using TRON. Wouldn't you think, if you want more usage out of the token that's not being used, wouldn't you not make a new token called Justlink, which people aren't going to use because people already aren't buying a BitTorrent token, which they paid $100 million for? Imagine how much stronger their system would be if all these things were simply running on TRON. Anyway, one of my favorite news stories from the last couple of days, because, garbage. It's just... use this as an opportunity to understand that the market has not gone up as high as it is going to go, or as high as people are expecting it to go. If you happen to have your money in a project that you have come to the conclusion is probably garbage, this may be a good time for you to reevaluate your portfolio and maybe swap some of your money out of that project into something else. Hope you catch my drift. Garbage. Absolute complete garbage. And without further ado, we're going to move on. And a lot of people have been asking me in the comment section the last couple of days, like, why do I find this project garbage? Why do I talk badly about this one? Why am I so and so and so? Because all these coins are terrible. No one's using these coins. These were all, for those of you who don't know, I will tell you. For those of you who do know, I do apologize. Go get some coffee or something like that. A lot of people, I've been into cryptocurrency. I've been in the cryptocurrency space since 2012. I made this channel at the middle of 2016 or something like that. I've seen a plethora of coins come and go, and all of them have always been a replacement for Bitcoin, a replacement for Ether, or a replacement for Litecoin when Litecoin was like one of the it coins. They're all exactly the same. They keep popping up, and this happens every year. So it's usually only people who have been in the cryptocurrency space for a very short amount of time who ask me, why don't I like this new garbage coin that just has come out? Because other crypto YouTubers are talking about how amazing these coins are. These people don't care about you. They're trying to pump up coins that they own in an attempt to get the price to go higher so that they can become richer. That's all it is. These coins are never going to be used. If they have 1 or 2 partnerships, that's absolutely wonderful. There's a reason why the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance exists and why they have like 700 clients who are using them. Not only that, but also governments and world leaders and banks and yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. These new coins that are coming out, for those of you, these would basically be known as you can call them the 2.5 or the 3.0 coins. TRON, EOS, IOTA, and all the other ones being the 1.5, 2.0 coins. Every generation, every year, there's a new set of coins that come out, and everyone's like, oh, these coins are amazing. You should also love them as well. I don't, because they're garbage. If I had seen over the course of the last 8 years that every time there was a brand new coin that came out that said it was better than another one and it had misplaced, displaced, and usurped Bitcoin, I'd be more inclined to believe that a lot of these coins were actually going to be doing something. And it's not just Tron. It's every single DeFi coin that has come out. Every single one. There's not one that I like, one that's actually going to make it, one that's going to actually be amazing. You want to know why? Because here's the actual real reason for that as well. There are a lot of institutions who are looking to get into the DeFi space. You have to understand, these people are not going to be using existing coins. They may be stacking some of them in an attempt to try and make some money as the prices go back up during the next bull run. But when it's all said and done, when DeFi really does take off, the coins that we have right now are not going to be it. They're going to be institutional coins that you are going to be told to use, because those are going to be the actual coins that are going to be used by the actual companies. There's very little chance that banks and institutions who are thinking of getting into the DeFi space are not going to be creating their own coins. These coins, which will then be legally compliant, have gone through the SEC and the CFTC and the World Bank and the IMF and given the thumbs up for the AML KYC features that they have. These are going to be the coins that are actually going to be the DeFi coins, but it won't be DeFi at all because it's going to be run by corporations, but that's how it's going to be marketed to you. So just understand, once again, it may be fine that you hold some of these garbage coins. When the prices start skyrocketing, everything is going to go up. Everyone will be a winner. I'm here for the long term. I'm not here for these other garbage projects that keep copying off of everything else. And there's a reason why I've stopped talking about a lot of other coins. It's because over the last 2 years, all the coins I was talking about in 2017 and the beginning of 2018, they haven't done anything. You can't keep promising that you're going to do something and then nothing happens. And I don't even mean like price-wise. Don't just mimic or copy other coins or create something where people can see the prices of other things. It's absolute nonsense. Anyway, just thought I'd clarify that. Hello to everyone who came back with their coffee and or their tea or a piece of cake, Just had to throw that out there because I keep seeing people really confused. Like, why are you bad mouthing this coin? It looks absolutely amazing. I made 24% this year on this coin, but Bitcoin went up by 13. So I don't really know. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm trying to. The point of this channel, for those of you who don't know, is to lead people down the right path. I try to give you the most logical arguments. And remember, years ago, we were all talking about this as well, when I was like, I feel like something is good, something's happening with Bitcoin. I was like, I feel like we're going to see increased adoption with Bitcoin. And everyone's like, well, what about this coin? What about that? And I'm like, no. And lo and behold, look at where we are. All the banks and institutions and entire countries and governments who are now accumulating, hoarding, and buying Bitcoin, or allowing their central banks to now hold Bitcoin and sell Bitcoin and custody Bitcoin. Tron is garbage, like actual hot, steaming garbage. I don't think I can say that any clearer, as are many other coins, but Tron is on the screen right now, so Tron gets the... And without further ado, this is a really weird video. All right, let's move on. I realized that like 8 seconds ago. I was like, this is an odd weekend video. The code for Taproot, Bitcoin's biggest upgrade in years, has been finalized and has been packaged in a forthcoming update. Only it's not ready to be deployed yet, because Bitcoin developers have differing opinions on the best route to activation. So I believe it's Taproot and Schnorr. These are the two latest, biggest upgrades to the Bitcoin core system, the number one coin. But apparently there's some discrepancies as to exactly how it should be executed or created or kind of rolled out. It'll give the I think we get more private transactions. They won't be completely private, but it does help along the way. And I think it has something to do with also making sure that the blockchain isn't as constrained as it currently is. These will be done through a soft fork, so there will be no Bitcoin Rapid Gold or anything like that being created. It's just a matter of, it actually being rolled out. There are many proposals for the future of Bitcoin, and just a lot of them are going to take a very long time because I mentioned this before for those of you who don't know. Bitcoin's worth a lot of money. You cannot make mistakes when it comes to upgrades. Everything has to be absolutely perfect, because if you roll out an update and Bitcoin breaks or Bitcoin goes offline or something else happens to Bitcoin, the faith in Bitcoin is then completely lost. And this is why we were talking about all those other coins who have 51% attacks this year. Anyway, yeah, so apparently the upgrades are ready. Now it's just a matter of them figuring out a date and how to implement them in the most correct way. Moving on. Next up, Wrapped Bitcoin reached all-time highs in price in terms of market cap and number of tokens. Wrapped Bitcoin is the most popular version of Bitcoin tokenized for use on the Ethereum network. According to the official website, there are currently a record number of 116,885 wrapped Bitcoin, backed by an equal number of Bitcoin held on top of Ethereum. The market cap of wrapped Bitcoin is now $1.58 billion US dollars. This makes wrapped Bitcoin Ethereum's sixth largest token by market cap after Crypto Coin, CRO, USD Coin, Chainlink, Binance Coin, and number one being Tether, of course. This is getting, the word isn't weird. Wrapped Bitcoin they're exploding in not value, but like place in the actual crypto market cap kind of thing. I think that this is going to be the method for increasing Bitcoin scarcity. There are, of course, going to be other protocols, but I think this is going to be the most popular one. I have a very strange feeling that this is going to be the new Tether in the space. What's going to be really interesting, now here's the really interesting part, because mathematically and computarily, you know what I'm saying, this is all going to be completely possible if people keep wrapping their Bitcoin inside of Ethereum, and we get to a point, let's say hypothetically there's 15-20% of all Bitcoin locked inside of Ethereum, and Ethereum does have Ethereum 2.0, and it continues to roll out over the next couple of years, and we end up having a 35,000 transaction per second Ethereum. We'll be able to essentially use Bitcoin on top of Ethereum. With all that Bitcoin locked away, this will increase Bitcoin's price, and we'll be able to use Bitcoin's value easily, quickly, without having a lot of fees. And this is, I think the trend is moving in this direction. It seems a little bit too obvious at this point. We were just talking about wrapped Bitcoin when they were 92,000. Wrapped Bitcoin, now we're at 116,000. If we pass by 250,000 Bitcoin, I say by February or March, I don't think it'll happen by the end of this year, then we know exactly where the trend is going. Anyway, yeah, I think they're probably even looking for other methods to be able to lock up Bitcoin inside of other protocols. Yeah, I mean, it's getting serious out here, and just hope everyone's paying attention. What's this one? Digital currency asset manager Grayscale. Their Bitcoin investor study found in its survey that more than 55% of US-based respondents are interested in investing in Bitcoin in 2020, and that nearly half of those surveyed predicted that digital currencies were heading for mainstream adoption by the end of this decade. In fact, the market of potential Bitcoin investors was said to be 32 million people compared to last year's 21 million. And I believe it's 32 million just within the United States, because I think worldwide it's estimated that there are 110 million people who are into Bitcoin or have fragments of Bitcoin or so and so and so. They said this year, 62% of investors reported that they are familiar with Bitcoin compared to 53% last year. Another important aspect of the study found that 19 was a key driver of Bitcoin investments this year. 19 had driven 63% of respondents into buying Bitcoin, according to the study. With regard to the influence of 19 on Bitcoin investment products among the respondents. I think it's just the uncertainty of the year in general. I mean, I guess 19 could also be a very big catalyst. I don't know. Because it seems relatively likely, but the fact that the stock market doesn't appear to be adhering to reality, that real estate prices are also going up when no one is buying and not many people have enough money to actually buy a lot of real estate in many places, it seems logical that people would be looking for something, a place to put their money, but for some reason, crypto seems to be it this year. I have a lot of friends, I know I keep saying this, but it's really weird because for 3 years, no one kind of says anything. I haven't spoken to these people about crypto. We haven't spoken about crypto at all during any of these conversations, but they're all kind of bringing it up in conversation. Like, hey, I actually have about 5,000 I've been saving up the last couple of years, and I want to put it somewhere. And they're like, is Bitcoin still a thing? But like they completely go around any other type of investment thing, and it always goes back to Bitcoin. So not surprised. I assume this number is going to continue rising, and the easiest way that it's going to continue rising of the number of people who are holding Bitcoin is when Bitcoin rises in price. Because during the course of this year, people have been buying 25%, 20%, 10% of a Bitcoin, and they wake up one morning and they've made $1,500, they're going to start telling their friends and family, look how much money I made, and then people start buying, and this is how we continue on that saga. Anyway, yeah. I'm not surprised at all. I wonder what the numbers are like in other parts of the world as well. Like we usually always only get like this happened in America kind of surveys, but I really wonder what it's like, especially because when you talk about people who are like in Africa and South America who are going through like complete financial collapses right now, and even parts of, I mean, it's kind of happening in many places, and these people who, like in Venezuela, who were buying like fragments of Bitcoin before to be able to like transact, or they were buying Dash in 2018 or something like that as well. But like these people are not going to stand still, or like we're not going to be able to get the survey numbers from these people. So I wonder how many other people outside of the surveys are actually doing these exact same things, whether it be for, I don't want to use the word survival, but I'll use the word survival, or just out of like basic interest. Did I tell you about that thing? Maybe, I don't know if I showed you. I don't remember. There was a guy and his wife. They were somewhere in South America, I believe it was. And the guy was saying that I think he had like a little shop or something like that, but it just wasn't working and kind of fell apart. And a friend of his was like, hey, dude, I'm mining this thing called Bitcoin. And he was like, what in the world is that? So he said his friend took him to the house and he showed him that he had like these like 5 little brick shaped machines, and he was making like $2 or $3 a day, which was quite a lot of money for that circumstance where they were living. And he was like, no way. So he started, apparently, I think he sold a whole bunch of stuff in his house, bought a whole bunch of these machines, and he now has like a little mining factory. I can't remember the country where he was, but he's also a random person who really got into it. And he's, I assume, not giving up his Bitcoin anytime soon because, they're quite valuable. Anyway, I always wonder, I assume it's actually more than 110 million at this point. But, we don't have the exact number, so I'm just going to move on because I keep rambling. And to finish things off, in the most obvious news in the world, Ripple plans to invest in MoneyTap, the blockchain payments firm birthed through a joint venture between Ripple and Japan's SBI Holdings, the companies announced on Wednesday. The value of the investment has not been announced. MoneyTap, a blockchain money transfer app launched through a joint venture between SBI and Ripple, went live in 2018. Like Venmo, the app allows users to send and receive money with their telephones or QR codes. MoneyTap uses Ripple's global financial settlements network, RippleNet, to provide the payment services, which include peer-to-peer transfers, overseas remittances, and corporate payments. I think part of the, the rumor was that MoneyTap would be using XRP. This was a rumor, I think, sometime earlier this year or the end of last year. It was a very, if any type of XRP news that someone's going to be using XRP always tends to be quite popular. So I'm going to assumption that Ripple is probably investing in MoneyTap because at some point MoneyTap is going to announce, hey, that we're also using XRP to send money back and forth through our systems. Yeah, that's the news. And also I gave you the rumor part. We get a lot of stuff. Anyone who's using RippleNet or Ripple anything, the rumors always are that at some point there's going to be an announcement of XRP usage, what have you. That's just usually what it comes down to. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Bolero, Bastos, Crayola, Michelle, URL on Crypto with Lano, Tigger, Macho, Nisa, Bake Me a Cake, Arfmedic17, Anytime Fitness, Moshkona Staff, Bodie McBoatface, Yes to Crypto, Miller, His Chess Everyday, and Calskip's Leg Day, Minting Coins, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Anthony Charles, Nick Mon, Gelavori, Paxis, Vlad the Impaler, Richie Richard III, Setsuna, Damien, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Bankroll Network, 242 to the World, Wise Night Owl, Jared Schneider, Master Ventures in Thailand, Moher Maroni, Adam Graysick, Todd Mullis, A Bibliophobia, The Animal Reader, John Sarson, Nostromo, Martin Steuer, Joshua Vineyard, Moonman High, XRP, Utopia 569, Oscar Maldonado, Yasha Harari, Attila the Han, David James, Navarro Williams, Decentralized Peter, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Tolik Banan, Snacky Chan, and Professor Wally from Gunbot University. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, the Bitcoin. The market's down, but it's not down. We are currently down by 1% on Bitcoin. I feel like mathematically we should be a bit more than that. If we hit $14,100, clearly my math is off because I'm not a computer. But you see this little thing right here. They're all following the exact same dips and drops kind of thing. And it's clear that the market is going to try and go back up, but I fear that 14,000 may be some actual type of resistance simply because of nonsense. As Bitcoin was going up the last day or two, the altcoins weren't really moving at all, so a lot of them are lower than they were before, but I think that's just part of how it really goes. I think there were some anomalies, anything really crazy going up. No, nothing going up by like 19% or something. Omise goes up by 3%. For the life of me, I just always wonder about that coin and why sometimes it's going up. Yeah, everything is basically down. A lot of articles floating around, which I didn't have in here because I thought it would simply be overkill, about Yearn Finance and how it slipped so rapidly in the cryptocurrency rankings and stuff like that, and how if it falls below 10,000, it's clear that 5,000 is nigh, and yada, yada, yada. It's not an I told you so moment. It's just please pay attention to where you're putting money. All these things are just hype. There's only one coin that's actually being used and adopted. 1.5 coins, 2 coins. It's just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else is trying to get you to dump your money into it so that their prices go up, so that they can say that they're hype, so that they can try and get some VC money on the side. These coins are garbage. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening to me rambling. This was a very odd video. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.